Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? I want to have a serious conversation with you today. I want to talk about the fact that the African American community is headed for an end game. We're headed for an end game. Why are we headed for an end game? We're headed for an end game because of one thing. We do not control our resources. You know as well as I do, and you've heard it many times. And when you hear it, it hits you, but then you forget. You forget that the Asian community, the dollar rotates for 30 days. The Jewish community, 20 days. The white community, 17 days. The Spanish community, 10 days. The African American community, 6 hours. 6 hours, not even a day. And out of those 6 hours, only 2 cents for every dollar is spent in a black firm. This is the problem. You want to know why our schools are not as good? We don't control our resources. You want to know why we don't have the police protection? We don't control our resources. You want to know why we don't have good infrastructure? We don't control our resources. And if you want to know why the government and the politicians give you lip service but never do any actual work for you, we don't control our resources. The moment that a man starts to control his resources is the moment that he starts to control his destiny. But what happened? There used to be Black Wall Street. And I grew up in Marietta. There used to be Black Lawrence Street and Cole Street. But what happened to Black Lawrence Street and Cole Street? Integration happened for one. Integration happened and we all ran out and tried to be like the establishment. It happened. But number two, and the bigger issue, is that through threats and through bombings, but mainly through the assassination of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, for when they started talking about economic empowerment is when the black community lost the battle. Not yet the war, but the battle was lost at that moment. Because at that moment, the black clergy forgot that they are the head and not the tail. The black clergy forgot that they are not to conform to the world, but the world is to conform to them. And I'm talking about Christian and Muslim. And if you're anything else, whatever it is in your community, whether it's temples or anything, but the black clergy forgot that they are the leaders of the people, that they hold the hope and the faith of the people in their hands, and that they are the ones who lead the people. You see, when Martin Luther King marched on Selma, it wasn't until he marched and led that your Harry Belafontes and your Samuel Davis Jr.'s joined in, that the entertainment world joined in. But in today's society, the entertainment world leads the black community. And where are they leading them? They are leading them into the corporations, the hands of the corporation. Now, I wrote a program called Community Take Back Group. This program is designed to bring that economic empowerment back to the black community. It's designed not as wordplay, not as somebody to come and stand in your church and pontificate, but it is designed to get people to pool their money together, for churches to support these businesses, and for the people in the neighborhood to support these businesses, and not on a one-time come to your church, come to your mosque and talk about it, have a civic meeting and just talk about it, but something that happens every week. Every week, your parishioners are encouraged, or pushed, or demanded to shop at black businesses. They're encouraged to build black businesses within the community. They're encouraged to do this on a consistent basis. But this program I designed is designed to take over first those industries in the black community that people will go and purchase no matter how they feel. Whether they are conscious, whether they are mentally in the same playing field as everybody else or not. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for two kinds of people. One, clergy who are strong enough to tell this message to their people weekly. Two, people who are entrepreneurial enough, or who want to invest with entrepreneurs enough, to be able to open up these particular type businesses within each community. And I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm talking about your nail salons, your beauty supplies, and your gas stations, and your restaurants. Those are the ones. We still control our barbershops and our hair salons. We still control our daycare centers. But what we got to get back, and what we can easily get back, is the beauty supply, the nail salons, the gas stations, and restaurants. We can easily get those back. And then we can get the telephones, telecommunications. We can get those back. We just lost those, but we can get those back. And see, as new things come into play, we can get them when they come into play before somebody else comes into your neighborhood and takes it over. Because that dollar is going to leave your neighborhood every time. So we can do this. Those are the two people I'm looking for. If you're interested, if you're brave enough, then let's work together. I opened up a business in the black community. I opened up the wrong type business in this black community, well, at this particular location. I will admit that, and I've learned from that. I know that this business can be 1.8 miles away and make 3 times as much money as it did before. I learned that lesson. I don't want you to learn that lesson. I want you to learn a new lesson. A lesson of what businesses to put in what parts of town, in which plazas, the whole deal. Everything that I've learned, everything that I know is going to be available to you. I just need those brave souls who are willing to do the work and who are willing to stick their neck out. And the black clergy, without you, we can do it, but it's going to be a much longer road. It may take a generation, but with you, we can change this in a few years. In a few years. So hey, let's get it going, guys. Let's move it. All right? Let's make our communities great.